and good evening. Welcome to the Understanding Behavior live stream. My name's Nick Osage. I'm the founder of Understanding Behavior. We've got a great presentation for you tonight. We're going to be going over shaping and chaining. How is everybody feeling? I see we've got a birthday coming up. Happy birthday, Alyssa, on Saturday. Some people testing soon. Kristen, good luck on Tuesday. Nice, Tracy, on Wednesday. Good luck. Samantha, 2 weeks away. Plenty of time to get some study action. Well, I'm so glad you guys could join me tonight. Again, it's going to be a great presentation. We're going to go over shaping and chaining. We're going to really break these down, everything that you need for each of them, and it's going to be fun. Who's excited? Cool, cool. Yeah, we've got a couple people going too. Heather testing on Wednesday. Cool. Aaron's still finishing up ours, so that's great. Yay! Sharita in chat just passed on Tuesday. Yay! Fucking love it. That's amazing. Congratulations, Sharita. Cool, cool, cool. Well, anyway, my name's Nick, and I run stuff at Understanding Behavior. If you're not familiar with our stuff, you should definitely check out our shop. We've got some amazing products. We've got our Super Ultimate Mock Bundle, which comes with our best price for all of our, or most of our amazing products. It comes with our Mini Mock Package, which is mini mocks that are broken up by section, contains our toughest application questions. They do not mess around at all. It also comes with our 2 full mocks, the Beat the Beast 1 and Beat the Beast 2. Again, really great stuff here. And Crystal's, oh, today's her 1-year anniversary. Yeah. Is that Understanding Behavior anniversary, Crystal? I was thinking it was coming up soon. Or passing your test, or was that both? Anyway, that's really exciting. If you're not familiar with Crystal, she's one of our amazing instructors. She runs our live sessions on Wednesday. You can join absolutely free. You can get into her sessions by either signing up to our email list or joining us on the Understanding Behavior Power Preppers group, which is on Facebook. Anyway, during these streams, we like to do giveaways as well. So during some point in the stream, it will trigger faster if we get lots of likes on this video. But during some point in this stream, we'll be giving away the option to choose one of these 4 products. So either Beat the Beast 1, 2, our mini mocks, or our fluency questions. Yay, Lorena here for the first time. Welcome. Nice. Crystal, 1 year of a BCBA. Love it, love it. That's exciting. Also, if you miss our Monday and Wednesday study halls, we've got our recording package. So you can check all those out for just $20 to get 5 weeks access. Yeah, we have Amber taking over for Mondays temporarily. So we've got Molly is working on some core stuff with me. So we've got Amber taking over on Mondays. But yeah, Amanda's saying that she loved Amber as well. Amber is amazing. And definitely check out her streams as well on Mondays. I guess she runs a Zoom, not a stream. All right, well, let's go into our content for today. We're going to be talking about shaping and chaining. Yeah, I'm so glad you guys like Amber so much. She's amazing. Woo, woo, woo. Is it Zovana? Welcome here, first timer. Yeah. All right, cool. We're talking shaping and chaining. Here is our agenda for today. We're going to start off by talking about task analyses, which are applicable to both of these topics today. We'll talk about behavior chains and dual functioning stimuli. We'll talk about diagramming a behavior chain, the types of chaining procedures, and we'll take a little quiz on that. We'll talk about shaping. We're going to talk about shaping within with our different response dimensions. I think they actually took shaping within and across topographies off the 6th edition, so we'll talk a little bit about that too. If anybody could confirm or deny that for me, we'll love that info too. And then we'll talk about just shaping in general and go through some examples with another quiz at the end. Cool. Suletus, welcome. First timer as well. You're in the right spot. All right, well, let's talk about our task analysis first. Here's a definition I really like for a task analysis. So it's a breakdown of complex behavior or sequences of behaviors into their component elements of responses. So complex behavior, this is usually looking more at behavior that we'll use shaping for. And sequences of behavior, this is going to refer more to our behavior chains. And then we're just going to break these things down into their different components so they're a little bit more easily digestible. And when we break them down into our individual units, they also become easier to teach and understand. We're going to start off with behavior chains. This definition is a long one, so we're going to break it down line by line here. So a behavior chain is defined as a sequence of stimuli and responses. So we go like stimulus, response, stimulus, response, stimulus, response. And then in this chain, each response produces a stimulus that serves as a reinforcer for the preceding response. So it kind of makes sense, like the stimulus is the consequence of a response. It's going to reinforce that response. And then it's also going to have or serve as an SD or an operandum for the following response. So this means that it's basically going to set up the next response. SD being that something that signals reinforcement for another response. This term operandum might be a little bit less familiar, but it's an important one to know. The operandum is defined as the part of the environment that the organism manipulates. So it's the thing that they're actually engaging with or changing, or manipulating. I always like to think about like the rat in the Skinner box. Just like the simplest examples, I think, help make the concepts make the most sense. So when we're looking at a Skinner box arrangement, we have a rat pressing a lever and then he receives water. Usually an SD is going to be that the light is on. So that's if the light is on, it signals that it's going to get reinforced. If the light is not on, it will serve as an S delta that signals that lever pressing will not get reinforced. The operandum in that situation, though, is going to be the lever itself. So if the lever isn't there, he can't press a lever. So the lever is not an SD, but it's the operandum. It's the part of the environment that the organism's manipulating. So when we think about behavior chains, all of the stimuli within a behavior chain are what we call dual functioning stimuli. And here are the two functions. So it's going to serve as a reinforcer for the previous response, and then it's going to be an SD or an operandum for the next response. Yeah, Lindsay's mentioning it was just BF Skinner Day the other week. Yeah, that was Skinner's birthday. I forget what day it actually is. I think it's the 3rd or 4th. I might be wrong on that, but they always have that as like official BF Skinner Day. All right, so there's our behavior chain definition. Really important to get this dual functioning stimuli down. So understand the two different components, and let's walk through this with some examples. So I love the Skinner box. So we're going to start with the Skinner box behavior chain. Here's what we've got. So our first response is that the rat is going to pull down a little chain from his box. And what that is going to do is it's going to turn the light on. Now, when the rat presses the lever, he hears the sound of the dipper. So the dipper is like the water dispenser, essentially. So let's go ahead and look at this stimulus, the light being on. So when we're looking at it, the light being on in relation to this behavior, pulling the chain, is this serving more as an SD or a reinforcer? What do you guys think? So once again, the question is, when we're looking at this stimulus, the light on, in relation to this behavior, pulling the chain, is this serving as an SD or is it serving as a reinforcer? And if you have a rationale to support that, it just makes you that much cooler. Not only does it make you cooler, but it makes you understand the concepts a little bit better. And it's going to, it's really the way that you get the most out of these sessions, when you respond with rationales. All right, we're a little bit mixed here. We've got about 50-50, half say reinforcer, half say SD. So again, we're looking at this stimulus in relation to this behavior. So pulling the chain produces the light on. Is this going to be an SD or a reinforcer in that situation? Cool. I'm liking some of the rationales coming through here. Natalie, that's a really great rationale. Yeah, Michaela, I really like that as well. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, Cameron, I like where you're going. Yeah, Kayla, that looks good. Nice rationales coming through. Love to see it. Yeah, Chelsea on the right track. Aaron, that looks good. Yeah, Natalie, that looks great. I love that, talking about both answers there. Cool, cool, cool. So for this behavior, we have pulling the chain produces the light being on. This is going to serve as a reinforcer for this behavior. So it's coming as a consequence of this behavior, so it's going to make it a reinforcer. Now, when we look at this other behavior, pressing the lever, this is going to serve as an antecedent for that behavior. So it's going to be more of an SD, where the light on signals that if he presses the lever, that he's going to hear that dipper come up, which is paired with water. Cool. All right, how about this next? Let's look at this next part of the chain. We have approaching the dipper results in water once he hears that dipper click. So let's look at this this stimulus now. We're looking at the dipper click in relation to this behavior approaching the dipper. Is this serving as an SD or a reinforcer for that behavior? Let's see some answers and rationales in chat. So we're looking at the presence of the dipper click in relation to this behavior approaching the dipper. Is this serving as an SD or a reinforcer, and why? All right, loving the answers coming through here. Samantha, Aaron, looks good. Mrs. Rivero. Yeah, there you go, Lindsay, that looks good. Sweet, yeah, Bridget, love your rationale there. And again, like this dipper click, this is like the sound of that water dispenser. So it's signaling that it's that like there is a drop of water ready to go there. So we're looking at this stimulus again in relation to this behavior of approaching the dipper. Is that an SD or a reinforcer for this behavior? Yeah, cool, Riley, I like where you're going. Tracy looks good. Selena, good. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, Rebecca, right on track. Loving the rationales here. You guys are like looking dense with the rationales. I love to see that. All right, killing it, killing it. So for this behavior, we have approaching the dipper. The dipper click is going to serve as an SD for this behavior. So when he hears the dipper click, it signals that there is water ready to be drank in that dipper. So this sound signals reinforcement for this behavior. If he didn't hear the dipper click, then there wouldn't be water when he approaches the dipper. So like if he were to approach the dipper here instead, then that would result in no water. It would not be reinforced because we did not have the SD present for that behavior. Awesome. Really nice job. You guys nailed that one. And then if we look at the dipper click in reference to pressing the lever, then this is going to be a reinforcer because it serves as a consequence for that behavior. Note that our final stimulus here was our water. So this only has one function because it's our final stimulus where it's only going to serve as a reinforcer for approaching the dipper. But this reinforcer is actually going to help get this whole chain to occur more frequently. So the reinforcer of getting the water for approaching the dipper is going to affect this whole behavior chain. And if we were to look at an MO that may have gotten this chain going in the first place, we might have seen like water deprivation that would get this chain going. Where if like he's just had a bunch of water, then he might not go through all the effort to engage in all these steps to get that water. Awesome. How are you guys feeling on this example? You guys ready for a real world example? Do you like this one? How are we feeling? How are we feeling? Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, starting to get the hang of it. I feel like with a couple examples, it gets a lot easier looking at these dual functioning stimuli. Let's go ahead and look at one more behavior chain. So in this behavior chain, we're looking at sending an email. Let's look at our first couple steps. First step is going to unlock your phone. That's going to produce the phone being unlocked. Our next step is that we're going to click the Gmail icon, and then Gmail is going to open. So let's look at this stimulus first. We're looking at the phone being unlocked. What does it serve as in relation to this behavior? So clicking the Gmail icon. Is it going to serve as an SD or a reinforcer for clicking the Gmail icon? So once again, we're looking at our phone being unlocked. What does this serve as in relation to clicking the Gmail icon? Is it an SD or a reinforcer? Awesome. Loving these rationales coming through. Yes, Samantha, Michaela, Chelsea, Natalie. These look great. Ellie, I love where you're going there. Yeah, Rebecca looks good. Lindsay looks good. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Keep up those rationales. Also, we've got 104 people here and only 43 likes on the video. If you can hit that thumbs up button, it might trigger a giveaway faster. And if we get that counter really high tonight, we might even do 2 giveaways. So if you wouldn't mind just taking a second and hitting that thumbs up like button, it really helps support the channel. And so easy to do. Good. Thanks so much for everybody who's done that and is continuing to do that. Okay, so let's go ahead and review this one. Again, we're looking at the phone being unlocked in relation to clicking the Gmail icon. So this is going to serve as an SD for this behavior. So a couple ways that we can see that is that this serves as an antecedent for this behavior. And also, like, my phone is locked right now. Like, if I try to hit like where my Gmail is, like, it doesn't open Gmail. Like, it doesn't signal reinforcement for this next response. So, but when my phone is unlocked, then I can hit my Gmail icon and then Gmail will open properly. All right. Looking good, looking good. So if it's serving as an SD for this behavior, then we would know that this serves as a reinforcer for unlocking your phone. So makes sense when we unlock our phone being unlocked is the reinforcer for that. Cool. Let's go ahead and keep going with our chain. So we have, we click our Gmail icon and then Gmail opens. We hit compose and then we write an email, and now our email is ready for sending. And our final link is that we hit send, and now our email is sent. Let's look at this next component of Gmail being open. I'm gonna up the difficulty on this one. So which behavior is this an SD for, and which behavior is it a reinforcer for? Ooh, we're upping it up a little bit. So again, what we're looking for is we're looking at this stimulus, the Gmail being open. What behavior is it an SD for, and what behavior is it a reinforcer for? Yes, Natalie, killed it. Love it. Yeah, Samantha looks really good. Yeah, Amanda. Chelsea looks good. Cameron, I like where you're going. Yeah, these are looking great, everyone. Yeah, Riley, I like where you're going. Awesome, awesome. Keep it up. And even though there's a lot of correct answers in chat already, I think it's really important to practice it yourself. That makes the feedback kind of hit harder. So if you don't get it right, it's like hard kind of learning opportunity, which is okay. Like it'll get you to learn. And if you get it right, then sweet. It's like extra reinforcement boost to that. Yeah, Tanya, I like where you're going. Amy, careful. It looks like you described your stimuli as behaviors. All right. Sweet. Well, lots of great answers here. So for this stimulus, we're looking at the Gmail being open. This is going to reinforce clicking the Gmail icon. So it's a consequence of this behavior. We can see that this behavior produces it, making it a consequence. And then it's going to serve as an SD for this next step. So hitting compose and writing our email. Cool, cool, cool. Looking really good, everyone. All right, let's look at our email being ready for sending in relation to this behavior, hitting send. So is this going to serve as an SD or a reinforcer? We'll go a little faster on this one. Once again, we're looking at our stimulus, email being ready for sending. What does it serve as for this behavior, the hitting send? Cool. Yeah, these are looking good, everyone. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, loving the rationales too. We'll go a little faster on this one. Take like 20 more seconds. Yeah, Michaela, love that. Very thorough. Yeah, Kioma on the right track. Yeah, Sophia, nice and succinct. Good. Yeah, Harmy, I like where you're going. Sweet. Okay. Let's go ahead and review this one. So we hit compose and then we wrote our email. Then that produced the email being ready for sending. So once the email is written, like it's ready to fire off, it's serving as a reinforcer for this behavior. We were asking about what this serves as in relation to hitting send, and it's going to serve as an SD for this behavior. So once the email is ready for sending, then we can hit send, and now our email is sent. So even like a simple behavior like sending an email, we can break down into its component steps and see like where all these difficulties can lie within this chain. So if we were teaching somebody to send an email for the first time, let's say it's like your 95-year-old grandma, for example, then we may need to break this down even more. So whenever we're writing a task analysis, we want to break it down in as many steps that are going to be relevant. So like I might need, like, for somebody who's like a millennial like me, like I might not need to even break down like sending an email. I can just be like, hey, send an email to Judy about whatever, and they're like, cool, I got it. But if it's like somebody who doesn't know how to send an email or hasn't engaged in this very often, then we could this might be a good task analysis, or we might even need to break it down a little bit more. So like, what do we include in the email for like writing the email? Or like, what's a Gmail icon? How do I get that on my home screen? Or like, I don't have Gmail on my phone or whatever. So we might need to break this down even further depending on the individual. So whenever we're writing a task analysis, break it down in as many steps that seems necessary. When we can, it's best to combine steps so we don't need to like worry about each individual step as much, like when it's not necessary. Okay, well, thanks so much for everybody helping out with our like counter. We're up to 70 likes on the video. I think it's a good time to do a giveaway. What do you guys think? So we'll do a giveaway of any of these 4 products. So if you need the Beat the Beast 1, Beat the Beast 2, the mini mocks, or the fluency questions, you are more than welcome to participate. What we'll do is we'll do a random number drawing. So we'll set this 1 to 500. You can guess anywhere in between there. And our closest individual is going to win their choice of one of these products. All right, so you can go ahead and throw in a number whenever you're ready. 1 guess per person. Let's see what you got. Da, da, da. So again, our full mocks are pretty amazing. If you get an 80% or higher on these, you are guaranteed to pass the BCBA exam on your next attempt. That's when you're taking these for the first time, because obviously, like, if you know the questions, it kind of skews that score. But we have a 100% pass rate for people who've scored 80% or higher on these mock exams. Our mini mock package, these are like the most difficult questions that we have. Really great. They're also available on the Understanding Behavior app, and you can try 2 of the quizzes for free on the Understanding Behavior app. Our fluency questions, these are easier questions, but what's really nice is that there's so many of them, and they're broken down by section, but each time you retake one, it's going to give you new questions for that section. So pretty cool tool as well. Definitely, if you don't win these and want some really quality study materials, I would recommend checking these out. All right. Let's go, let's go. Yeah, Samantha's right. She has all of these. Literally can't choose wrong. They're all great. Totally true. And yeah, everything's updated for 6th edition. Okay, we're gonna pick our number. Drum roll, please. Oh, I woke my dog up. All right, our number is 273. Help me out and find our winner. Oh, we had Crystal, 275 last second here. That's pretty close. 275. Is anybody closer than that? That's gonna be pretty hard to beat. I'm scrolling through. Let's see. I don't think so. I think Crystal at the last second here. Oh wait, Lizette said she had 273. Oh wait, let's see here, Lizette. Oh my God, Lizette did have 273. Right on the money. Oh man. Lizette, I think we're giving it to Lizette. It's hard to beat that. Right on the money. Congratulations, Lizette. Send me an email at understandingbehaviorofficial@gmail.com. Let me know which product you'd like. Any of these 4 are fair game, and we'll set you up with that after the stream. Congratulations. All right, well, if we have 114 people here. That's pretty amazing. I think if we get to 100 likes, then we might do another giveaway. So don't slow down on that like button yet. Somebody is asking how many times can you take the Beat the Beast? It comes with just 1 attempt, but you get the feedback report to review afterwards. So hold on as long as you want. Cool. Mini mocks you can take, for the mini mock package you can take the mocks twice. They come with 6 months access as well. The fluency questions you can take an unlimited number of times, but it's also 6 months access. Good questions, good questions. Alrighty. Let's go through the difference between a behavior chain and chaining. So a behavior chain is going to be our sequence of behaviors. So we would say like sending an email, that's a behavior chain. We can break down our behavior chains with our task analysis. So that's going to break down our different steps, like step 1, 2, 3, and 4. But if we're just looking at the chain, it's like the name of the behavior. So we would say like sending an email is a behavior chain, or running a live stream is a behavior chain, for example. When we look at the word chaining, this is a method of teaching a behavior chain. We have 3 main types. We have forwards, backwards, and total task chaining. And we're going to go through each of these now, how they work, and what situations we should use each of them. All right, so in backwards chaining, here's our definition. We're going to start by teaching the last link of a behavioral chain first. And then once we've done that, we'll add in the preceding links until the first link is taught. So we'll start with our very last step. Let's say we have a 5-link chain here. We're going to set them up or prompt them through the chain until we get to that last step. And then we're only going to have them work on that last step for a little bit. Once they've mastered that last step, then we'll add in the preceding step. So we'll set them up so they only have to do steps 4 and 5. And then once they've mastered that, then we'll add in step 3, where they have to do 3, 4, and 5. And we'll continue this process until they're doing the whole chain by themselves. We have one variation of backwards chaining, which is backwards chaining with leaps. It's the same thing, but we're going to skip over known steps. So let's say like our individual already knows how to do step 4. What we would do is we would start on this first step where they're only doing step 5. Then once we master this phase, we're going to leap over this phase and have them do steps 3, 4, and 5 all in one go. So with leaps, we're just going to skip over the steps where they already know the new step. Here are some of the advantages and disadvantages of backwards chaining. So a big advantage of this is that they're going to contact the naturalistic or terminal reinforcer on every trial. So since they're doing that final step of the chain, they're always going to see like that final consequence of the chain. If we go back to like our example, if we were to do this, then like every single time they're going to receive this consequence of having that email sent, for example. Also, with backwards chaining, it's a more intensive procedure. So there's going to be lots of repetition of components before moving on. So if we have a skill that's very difficult or a learner that might be slower to acquire a particular skill, then backwards chaining can be really great because they're going to get lots of repetition and lots of learning with each step before we move on. Now that's a pro and a con, because the con of that is since we're doing lots of repetition on each step, it might be a little bit slower overall for our learner. So if we have a skill that's going to be like kind of quick to acquire, this might be a little bit overkill of a procedure. Another con is that like it requires mastery on each phase before like they can progress through that. So before like and again, this can kind of like slow down our learning a little bit. So they really need to master each new step before we introduce new steps, like additional steps into the behavior chain. So kind of a pro and a con. Again, this is going to be a more intensive procedure, and we're going to want to use it in situations, first of all, where like that naturalistic reinforcer is really important to the learner for the behavior chain. And again, for behavior chains that might be a little bit more difficult to acquire for our learner. And for that, you're going to need an assessment of the skill and compare it to like your learner's skill set. Yeah, so backwards chaining, again, we're going to start with our last link. So only teach that last step first, and then we're going to progress by adding in the preceding steps as we go on. Cool. All right, let's compare this with forwards chaining. Very similar, but instead of starting at the end of the chain, we're going to start at the beginning of the chain. So for forward chaining, we're teaching the first link of a behavioral chain first, and then we add in successive links until the last link is taught. Here are some of the advantages and disadvantages. So big pro of this is that the learner contacts the initial behaviors and the initial starting context on every trial. So we're always starting at like where the chain starts, where if we compare that with backwards chaining is that we're starting at different places for each phase. So that's one nice pro of the forward chaining is that we're always starting in the same place. This also is going to make that starting SD a little bit more salient because, again, we're always starting in the same place for the behavior chain. Similar to similar to backward chaining, we're going to want to use this when the client cannot do very many components of the skill, or if they're going to need more repetition on each step. So with forward and backwards chaining, we're spending lots of time only adding one new step at a time. And that's going to involve more intensive learning for our individual. We're going to also want to use this when contact with the terminal reinforcer is less important. So we're never going to contact the terminal reinforcer for the behavior chain until they get to the very last phase. Just to give a quick example of that. So if we were to compare the two chains of making a sandwich versus doing laundry for a 13-year-old autistic individual, well, doing laundry results in clean laundry, and that's not that cool to that individual for the most part. Versus making the sandwich, that results in a sandwich, and the sandwich can be a very powerful reinforcer. So we would be more likely to use backwards chaining for making the sandwich, and probably more likely to use forward chaining for doing the laundry, just because the terminal reinforcer for making a sandwich is way cooler than the terminal reinforcer for doing laundry. The cons for forward chaining have some overlap with our backwards chaining, but this is the first one is unique to forward chaining. So this can delay the contact of naturalistic reinforcers. Again, for our forward chaining, we're not going to contact the natural or terminal reinforcer until our very last phase. So this might not be as good of a procedure if that naturalistic reinforcer or terminal reinforcer for the chain is very strong. Similar to backwards chaining, this is going to be a slower learning procedure and a little bit more intensive because we're only adding in one new element at a time. And again, mastery on each phase is required before progressing, and that can slow down the acquisition of the behavior chain. Depending on, for any skill, it really depends on the learner and how quickly they are to learn for the skill and how valuable that terminal reinforcer is. So we can't say for every situation, this type of chaining is going to be better than that. We always want to individualize our procedures to our clients. So make sure we're doing that assessment and figuring out what's going to be best because it's always going to be different. Cool. Lastly, we'll look at total task chaining. So with total task chaining, we are going to be teaching all of the links of a behavioral chain in every trial. So every single trial, we're just going to run through everything. Here are some of the advantages and disadvantages of this. Similar to forward chaining is that we're always going to contact our initial behaviors and our starting SD a little bit more on every single trial. So we're always starting at the same point. A big pro of total task chaining is that it teaches our easier skills quickly. So if we suspect that our learner is going to be quick to acquire the skill, then total task chaining is usually going to be the option because it's going to do so really fast. So really teaching somebody to wash their hands and they've got great motor skills already, total task training might be totally appropriate because they might be able to pick up all of those steps very quickly. Another situation where you'd want to use total task chaining, again, is either when some of the components are already known. So let's say they already know how to do steps 2, 3, and 4. We just need to teach the beginning and the end. Then total task would be great for that. Or if those steps are going to be very easily acquired. So if we're teaching like somebody how to make a sandwich and they already know how to like use a stove and like assemble things in the kitchen, like total task chaining might be the way to go because like these steps are going to be very easy to acquire for that individual. Here's some of the cons. So it does not require mastery of any step to complete the chain. So often what happens is like one step of the chain, let's say like step 3 is really difficult, and they might get kind of sloppy like just on this step because they're not getting enough practice on this step relative to the other steps. So that is one con of total task chaining. And if that happens, like sometimes you can just do like some repetition practice of that one step. But if we're just using this method solely, then it can help perpetuate kind of a sloppy behavior chain. All right. So that's our 3 different types of chaining. Remember, 3 most important terms from that we've reviewed so far is that we have behavioral chain. So that's like what the skill is. The task analysis is going to be the breakdown of this skill, and then chaining is the way that we're going to teach the skill. So those words are all so similar, so I think it's helpful to get to parse those out a little bit. And then remember, we've got dual functioning stimuli that are produced in our behavior chains. Here's our first question of our chaining quiz. What are the 2 functions of stimuli produced in a behavioral chain? If your answer includes what behaviors that these are relative to, I think that's, I think like if you do that, you're just going to be really cool. Like so many cool points. So not only what are the 2 functions, but in relation to what behaviors do they function as each. All right, yeah, Natalie picked me up on that challenge. Love it, Natalie. You've been crushing it tonight. Cool, cool. Lots of good answers coming through. Jason, we're talking about shaping next. Don't worry, we'll get there. Ooh, close, Alberto. Yeah, Michaela, that looks really good. Yeah, Bridget slayed that. Yeah, Alyssa, I like where you're going there. Aaron, on the right track. Cool, yeah, Lindsay looks good. Just handing out all these cool points tonight. You guys are killing this. Yeah, Jocelyn, that looks great. Cool. A few more seconds, we'll go over this. Yeah, Harmony's killing it. Brianna's killing it. Good. So the 2 functions are SD and reinforcer. More particularly, it's going to be a reinforcer for the previous response. So the response that it serves as a consequence for. And it's going to be either an SD or an operandum for the next response. So it's going to set up that following response. Really nice job. Lots of y'all got that really nicely in chat. Extra cool points if you did. Okay, next one. What is a con that applies to both forwards and backwards chaining? Let's see that in chat. Operandum, we went over that earlier. It's the part of the environment the organism manipulates. So for example, I've got an empty soda can here. If I'm looking at the behavior of using a soda can, then the soda can itself is an operandum. The SD is whether there's liquid in here. So with liquid as an SD signals that drinking will result in soda. where S delta is what I'm facing right now, is that this thing is empty. So it's signaling that that behavior would not be reinforced. The can itself, though, is the operandum. It's the thing I'm manipulating. Cool. I'm liking the answers coming in chat. You guys are nailing this one. Let's take another 15, 20 seconds and we'll review it. Good. Yeah, loving these answers. Good job, Michaela. Good job, Lizette. Nice job, Jolanda. Delilah. Tanya looks good. Yeah, Katie on the right track. Alyssa looks good. I think it's Moseday. Moseday? Am I saying that okay? That looks great, though. Wonderful answer. All right, looking groovy here, crew. So in both of these chaining procedures, they're going to teach the chains a little bit more slowly, which requires, it's because they require mastery of each step before we move on. Really nice job. You guys nailed that. Okay, how is chaining different from a task analysis? Ooh. I think the best way to answer this would give like a brief, would be to like give brief definitions of each. All right, these are looking really good. Yeah, Natalie, I like where you're going. Nicole, Lindsay looks good. Yeah, I like that, Haley. Yeah, nice, Miss Rivero. Good, Samantha. Yeah, Jocelyn looks good. Kayla looks good. I see a couple mix-ups on definitions here, but we'll review in just a sec. Yeah, Jamie, I like where you're going. Good, yeah, Lizette, very nice. A lot of people saying chaining is like linking steps together. I'd be careful with that. I think that might be more like a behavior chain. So I also think about the difference between like chains and chaining. Good, yeah, Delilah, that looks great. All right, let's go ahead and check this one out. So chaining, this is a procedure that's used to teach a behavior chain. So that's going to be like our forwards, backwards, and total task chaining procedures. A behavior chain is like the sequence of events. So we said like sending an email is a behavior chain. Going skiing in the mountains is a behavior chain. Taking your dog for a walk could be a behavior chain. And then chaining is how we would teach that behavior chain. So the method of teaching it. The task analysis, this is going to be the breakdown. A lot of you guys got that very nicely. So this is the breakdown of the steps of a behavior chain. Cool, cool, cool. Nice job on that. Lots of great answers came through. Last question here. Describe the total task training process. Training or chaining, either works. Let's see what you guys got. Total task chaining. All right, great answers coming through. Yeah, Crystal, Jenny, Lindsay, Nicole, Ellie. Good. Yeah, Sophia, I really like that verbiage. Chelsea, too. Good, good, good. Yeah, nice, Amy. Good, Gabriella. Awesome. Yeah, Kioma right on track. Alyssa looks good. These are great, crew. Keep it up. Okay. Answer here is that we're going to be practicing every step of the chain on every trial. So every time we run through, we're going to run through each step. And a couple people probably mentioned like prompting as needed. Absolutely. But yeah, every single trial, we're going to run every step or go through every step. Cool. Nice job on these, folks. Are we ready for shaping? We feel like chaining masters now. All right, well, let's go ahead and get into it. Here's the definition I really like for shaping. So it's the use of differential reinforcement. We just reviewed this recently on stream, differential reinforcement. And this on behaviors in the same response class that more closely resemble our terminal behavior. Our terminal behavior is going to be our end goal. So we're going to use differential reinforcement, so that combination of reinforcement and extinction, or like combination of like reinforcement or more reinforcement. And we want to do it on behaviors that are more close to our end goal. Whenever we're doing shaping, we'll start with whatever is currently in the learner's repertoire. So anything that's kind of close to the behavior, we'll start with that, and we'll use differential reinforcement to get it to where we want to see it as our end goal. Again, differential reinforcement has two different components to it. It's reinforcement plus extinction. We can also think about this as reinforcement and lesser reinforcement, and it works just as well. So when we're doing shaping, we're using differential reinforcement of a particular response dimension of behavior. So here's some examples of response dimensions. We can have frequency and rate. Essentially, like, response dimensions are just ways that we can measure or capture behavior. So we can change the frequency or rate of behavior. We can shape the latency of behavior, so get them to start slower or faster in response to a stimulus. We can shape the force of a behavior, so how forceful the response is. We can shape the duration of the behavior, so how long the behavior occurs for. Or we can also shape up the IRT, so like how much time is in between each behavior. Lastly, we can shape topography of behavior. So shaping topography is when we're actually changing like the form of the response, so what the response looks like. For the 6th edition TCO, this is the only item on there that relates to shaping. It says shape dimensions of behavior. Now, my thought here is I think that, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong here, please, but I think that we don't need to really differentiate between shaping within and across topographies anymore. When we were looking at it previously, what we would do is if we were shaping any of these dimensions, this would be more like within topographies. And if we were changing the topography of it, then we would call it shaping across topographies. So that's how we differentiated it before. But I don't think that we need to do that anymore, just the way that this is phrased. But someone please correct me if I'm wrong and if they've seen like shaping within and across topographies on a 6th edition exam, because I would be very interested to know that. But for now, I don't think you really need to know the difference, or I don't think you really need to differentiate between shaping within and across topographies. But nothing has really changed, and you should know that, like, looking at like the different response dimensions that we're shaping. So again, you should always identify what the response dimension is that we are shaping. So whether it's frequency, latency, force, duration, or IRT, and then that would be shaping within topographies. But if it's shaping the topography, then it's going to be shaping across topographies. All right, people are correcting me, and I'm very glad to hear some evidence here, because this was definitely speculation before. So some people are saying that they were seeing shaping within and across topographies. So again, the way to know this, crew, is again, look at if it's one of these 5, it's going to be shaping within topographies. And if it's shaping the topography, then it's going to be across topographies. I'll go ahead and update this presentation to include that for next time. But let's go ahead and take a look at some examples. So first one here, we have hit the door kind of hard. And then we have small amounts of ice come out. So this is like if you're stuck in winter and get your door frozen. Or if you hit the door very hard and lots of ice comes out. So first of all, I want you to identify what's the response dimension that's being shaped here. And I guess we'll go for it now. Is this shaping within or across topographies? So again, let's look at this example. We want to look at what response dimension is being shaped here, and if we're looking at within or across topographies. Cool, I'm liking where we're going here. Yeah, lots of great answers. Yeah, I love it. Alyssa's got both components there. Alberto as well. So does Lizette. Good. So yeah, this one is going to be force or magnitude as our response dimension. And that's going to be shaping within topographies. Very nice job here, crew. Let's check out this one. This is actually, it's got the same thing, so we'll just review it. So if you talk quietly, then you're going to see no acknowledgement. But if you talk louder, then that is going to be reinforced with acknowledgement. So this is both the same thing here. We have force is the response dimension. So, and then we're also working with shaping within topographies on this one. So one thing I want you to note on these two examples is that this example was an example of like more reinforcement and less reinforcement. But this one is more of like reinforcement versus pure extinction. So both there are examples of differential reinforcement, but they work a little bit differently. So this is just less reinforcement, where this is pure extinction on this example. Well, both of these would be force and within topographies. Cool, cool, cool. Let's go ahead and take a look at these examples. So we have hit your golf ball with poor form and the ball goes in an undesired place. But if you hit your golf ball with good form, now your ball goes to a desired place. What do we think about this one? Is this shaping within or across topographies? Yeah, so again, we want to, if we want to find within or across topographies means that the topography is actually going to be changing over time. If it's within topographies, it's just going to be a different response dimension other than topography changing. Cool, yeah, Aaron, I like where you're going through rationale. Alrighty, let's go ahead and take a look at this one. This one is going to be shaping across our topographies because we see that the behavior is actually changing the topography over the shaping process. So poor form with good, compared with good form is a difference in topography of the behavior, and that's our main response dimension. It's not necessarily like how hard you hit it, it's if you hit it with good form or not. All right. Let's look at this next one. We have packing the espresso the right way, you get really good espresso. Or if you pack the espresso the wrong way, then you get worse espresso. I've never been a barista. I don't know the magic behind this, but there definitely is a right and wrong way because some baristas just don't do it right. What do you think about this one? Is this shaping within or across topographies? And again, to answer that, you should highlight what's the response dimension that's being changed. And if it's anything but topography, it'll be within. But if it is topography, then it's going to be across topographies. For sure. I'm like so picky about like what coffee shops I'll go to these days. The only place I like consistently go to, like, it's like a $9 coffee, but I'm like, it's so worth it. It's so good. I know Crystal was mentioning earlier she had a really good tip for within versus across topographies. Not to put you on the spot, Crystal, but I see you're getting a lot of requests for your email. If you want to just hop in a Zoom with me real quick and come on stream, message me on Slack if you want to make that happen. I know $9 coffee really is inhumane, but it's so good. It's worth it. All right, this one is again going to be shaping across topographies because again, the form of the response is changing. There's nothing, it's not just like any particular response dimension. It's not like we do it for longer. It's not like we do it more. It's not that we like do it with like a certain latency. It's just like doing it the right way. So this is again changing the topography of the behavior because because it just gets you a better result. Again, I don't know the secret behind it, but there definitely is a right and wrong way to do it. I know Denver coffee is not cheap. It's not cheap. And I am just getting like a quad Americano every time. It's not like a mocha or a latte or anything. It's just 4 shots of espresso. All right. I want to look at this other example because it shows more of like a gradual change in the behavior. Okay, Crystal denied my request, so no worries there. But let's look at this next example. This is like a gradual change in behavior. So we have our first one. We're starting with again whatever is in the learner's repertoire. So we have "ba," and then bubbles are blown. So once they say "ba," we'll get that behavior going, and we'll teach it as kind of like a man, and we'll blow the bubbles. Now, once they get really good at this, what often happens is like when we provide reinforcement for saying "ba," there's like a natural mutation of behavior. So they might say "ba ba," and if they start saying "ba ba," then what we're gonna do now is we'll provide the reinforcement for saying "ba ba," and then not provide the reinforcer for saying "ba." So this is where that differential reinforcement comes into place. Is that we're going to provide a stronger consequence for the better topography, and we're going to stop reinforcing the weaker topography. Now, what happens is that when we start saying "ba ba" a lot, or when they start saying "ba ba" a lot, and we provide lots of reinforcement for that, we might see that mutation where they say "bubble." So once they say "bubble," then we'll provide bubbles for them engaging that response, and we'll weaken the reinforcement for them saying "ba ba." So we might not reinforce this as consistently. What do we think about this one? Is this shaping within or across topographies? So again, what I want you to do is first identify like what response dimension is being shaped here, and then identify if it's going to be within or across topographies. So again, always start with the response dimension. Yeah, some examples of response dimensions. We different ways to measure behaviors like rate, frequency, IRT, force, magnitude, and topography. Cool. Yeah, Samantha, I like where you're going. Alrighty. So yeah, I'm gonna actually go back to that slide where we looked at the response dimensions. So if it's any of these five, it's going to be shaping within topographies. If the topography of the behavior is changing over the shaping process, then that's going to be shaping across topographies. So looking at this example, we have the topography of the behavior is changing over time. Like saying "ba" is physically different than saying "bubble." So this one is going to be shaping across topographies. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, a little bit mixed on that one. But again, what we want to look at is if the actual behavior is changing and not like we're not just like changing a dimension of the behavior, then we're going to be doing shaping across topographies. Cool. So yeah, I think a lot of people are getting like form mixed up. Like, oh, these are all vocal responses, so they're the same form. But no, these are different forms because they're physically different behaviors, and it's shaping. That's what makes it shaping across topographies. Okay, we got a couple questions here just to wrap us up for the evening. Let's check them out. First one: the BCBA is preparing to teach Daniel to make a PB&J sandwich. In considering what procedure to use, the BCBA considers the following factors. It will be a brand new skill for Daniel. He is highly food motivated, and his best outcomes result from immediate contact with reinforcement and building a pattern of success. Which procedure would likely meet Daniel's needs best? What do we think? Awesome. I'm loving the answers coming through here. Couple great rationales as well. Nice Michaela. Good Alyssa. Nice Tanya. Good. Nice Cab. Yeah, Crystal and Harmony looks good. Selena, Maria, Samantha, Cab. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and check this one out. Answer's looking great. Best answer is going to be C here, backwards chaining. So let's go ahead and look at these factors. So first of all, it's a brand new skill for him. So like it doesn't seem like he's worked with like making food very much at all. He's highly food motivated, so like we're like working with the skill of making a sandwich, which results in food as a reinforcer. So cool. Best outcomes result from immediate contact with reinforcement and building a pattern of success. So this is what really separates total task from backwards chaining here, is that like building if he's like if it's useful to like build that pattern of success and it's a brand new skill, we should use the more intensive teaching procedure. But if you were to quick to acquire this skill, then total task chaining would be the best option. So that's where would be like your main differentiating factor between those two answers. All right, let's check this next one out. When using shaping to teach or strengthen a behavior, what is the process of reinforcing responses in a response class that meet a specific criterion, depending on the response dimension being shaped, and placing all other responses in that response class on extinction called? What do you guys think? What's that basic procedure behind shaping? All right, let's take maybe 10, 20 more seconds here. Yeah, good rationales coming through. Samantha, Cab, Selena, Alyssa, Maria. Looking great, crew. Okay, best answer here is going to be B, differential reinforcement. So differential reinforcement is that combination of reinforcement and extinction. So we'll reinforce the higher quality responses, put on extinction the lower quality responses until we can get closer and closer to our end goal, that terminal behavior. All right, I think this is our last one here. Let's check it out. You are teaching a client to wash a load of laundry using forward chaining. They are currently able to complete the first two steps independently, so bringing their basket of dirty clothes to the washing machine and putting the dirty clothes into the washing machine. You prompt them through the third step, adding in laundry detergent. What should you do next? Let's check these answers out. Getting a little bit more into the nitty gritty of the procedure here. Ooh, yeah, this is a tricky one. What do you guys think? Although that Samantha is bold with her rationale on this tough one. We are all over the board on this one. Quite like Alyssa, Jenny, and Maria being brave with some rationales too. Maria, I think you might have a letter and rationale mismatch there. I know, maybe this should be a medium question. We have it as an easy plus here. Yeah, Crystal, I kind of agree with that one. Now, looking at it now, I think we should make this a medium. Good, yeah, Bridget, I like where you're going. Brianna too, that looks good. All right, we got some answer changes here. I am personally a fan of changing your answer if you have the proper rationale. But I think that proper rationale is important. We'll give y'all 10, 15 more seconds. Yes, this is a good question, Crystal. I like this one. Okay, let's run through each of these answers. So, key features here, we're doing forward chaining. The kid's doing the first two steps, and they're on the phase where they're doing steps 1, 2, and 3. What should we do on the last, after this? So let's look at A. Provide verbal praise, then teach the remaining steps in the chain with prompting as needed. This would be like your total task chaining. So this is an incorrect answer since it's more about total task chaining. Next one here, perform the rest of the steps for the learner and then have them press start on the washing machine. This is like some weird blend of forward chaining and backward chaining. Because like we're doing the first two steps and then they do the last step too, so we're like combining the two techniques. Anyway, either way, it doesn't really work. Let's check this next one out. Provide contrived reinforcement to your client and model the remainder of the chain for them. This is our correct answer. So in forward chaining, we're gonna just provide like those contrived reinforcers to get them through the chain, and then we can still model the rest of the chain for them. Like it doesn't hurt at all. And like, hey, if like the laundry detergent's already in there, like we should probably go start the washer. So it kind of just makes sense and it's very natural to do. So C is our best answer. And then D here, remove the first steps from the task chain and have your client start on step 3 next time. So this again is kind of a weird blend of where we like isolate steps in the chain and not going to be as good. So C is our best answer for forward chaining. Nice job on that one, folks. That was tricky. A lot of great rationales came out on that one, though. All right, well, that's going to wrap us up for tonight. Thanks so much for all of your amazing participation and for coming tonight. Definitely check out Understanding Behavior Shop to get the best products out there. Or again, our Super Ultimate Mock Bundle is our best deal. Comes with our mini mocks and 2 full mocks for just $139. Our fluency package has also been quite a hit recently. This is to get some easier questions, get more practice, and you get a new quiz every time that you do these as well. $40 for 6 months access. And also the mini mocks and fluency questions are both available on the Understanding Behavior app. You can try both of them for free on the app. Just go ahead and download it and go check that out. Discount code, so you can use the code UBNerd and you can get 15% off any single product. That code does not work on any of our bundles. These are already at our best possible prices, so definitely check those out. We also have our study hall notes and recordings. So that's our Monday, Wednesday packages if you missed those and want to catch up on them. And we've currently have Amber available for tutoring. Crystal is temporarily a little bit booked and sold out right now, but Amber's still available for tutoring if you'd like some personalized one-on-one help. All right, well, that's going to wrap up for tonight. Thanks again for coming and all of your amazing participation. I will see y'all next week. We're going to get into experimental design stuff next week, so don't miss that. It's going to be juicy, and I hope to see you there. Have a lovely week. Good luck to everybody testing soon, and I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye-bye.